Atlanta United Fan TV, it was a 1-0 loss to our old nemesis, the New York Red Bulls. And here with Parham, I mean, it's one of those, they go up early, we struggle away to kind of put away chances. And at the end of the day, I mean, largely we look kind of lackluster. But is there hope at the end of the tunnel for you?
Well, first off, good to be back. It's good to finally get a game in. Yeah, I was surprised by the lineup. I think like a lot of people, I think I understood why he was doing it with that formation. I assume, in these types of tournaments, these World Cup style tournaments, you never want to lose your first match, which is why I think he went with such a wide expanded formation. I think he was relying on Brooks and Lennon to cover more than they did. It didn't work. You could see that, we had a lot of crosses, but every time we crossed, I was wondering to who, that true center forward. We're missing that right now. And, a lot of the times the players were isolated. They looked alone. It didn't work today. But, we got 2 games left, and luckily there's a third place chance to get through the group. So, I guess we'll see what happens.
Right. Yeah, it definitely seemed a little disjointed between the lines, maybe lacking in midfield and some heavy touches at the forward role for sure. Missed chances that we came to rue us at the end of the day. I mean, maybe talk a little bit about Manuel Castro's, kind of debut for you, kind of added to the forward role, and I think it was his first start too. So yeah, Castro, the midfield. What do you think about it?
Well, I was surprised with Heinemann and Mo Adams in the middle. I thought Rbny would have definitely gotten a start in a game like this, especially if you're going for the tie or for the win. You're going to need that rock in the middle to be able to mop up everything. Mo worked really hard, but it was for nothing. He did his best, but they got overran. And every time I felt like I looked at the screen, it was just like a wall, a sea of black jerseys just in front of them, like an impenetrable fortress. It was crazy. And they just got left and isolated. The midfield really couldn't do anything. Bello and Brooks had to cover a lot of ground, and, it just wasn't really working. And as you saw, most of their attacks started with 2-3 passes from them when they won the ball back. They countered quickly. Castro, anytime you come into a new league, it's going to be hard. He tried, but again, we don't have a true striker right now other than Adam Jean, and he didn't start. So the front three had it. It was going to be difficult from the beginning. Very, very false nine-esque, in my opinion. He tried. It's a hard league. We'll see. We'll see what the game plan is. You know what I mean? Welcome to the team, but it's going to be hard. We'll see.
Right. Yeah. It definitely seems like there's a lack of continuity between the players. Largely, some could say that it seems like, they mostly look like they haven't even played together before. And it seems like, a big omission in that kind of starting lineup was an Ezequiel Barco, where it was perplexing why, he was left out when it seemed like maybe he could have even been brought in at halftime to kind of shore up some of the connectivity issues that we were having. Like, what would you think about Barco being left out of the lineup?
Yeah, no, that was definitely surprising with Castro starting and Barco out. I would have thought you go with the players who've been on the team the longest at this point. Barco, he needs time to grow into a game. He's a very hard worker. It was very difficult for him to come in to the game and try to make something happen, because by then, it was very. I felt like they were throwing everything they had at it, like throwing the sink at it. Like, it didn't a lot of crosses, but again, to who? They could have used him off the jump, and Pity had to work really hard on his own. Josetto, he kind of drifted in and out of the game for me. I didn't really see him at times. Again, they tried their best. It's hard without the support of a striker up there. You don't have a target man. You don't have a target to hit. But yeah, back to Barco. I think he should have probably been in the game from the beginning. But again, I understand why Frank de Boer tried to pick the formation he did. He probably wanted to go safe, guarantee some type of tie, a win, control it. But in the end, it just turned into, I think we had something like almost 500 passes to their almost 200. And that we didn't look dangerous, and Barco would have definitely been dangerous.
Right. And I don't know if you get into like XG and whatnot, but apparently in terms of Red Bulls, yeah, they had like something like 1.62, and I think we had like 1.48, which pretty much means like the kind of goal expectancy is essentially the same. We could have maybe leveled it if we had put away our chances, and so all in all, still though, like as kind of disjointed as we looked, it still is a thing where we might have been able to draw it level. Maybe that's light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, I mean, one thing, Guzan did amazing tonight. He really did. He really kept us in the game at times. They were getting very easy attacks and very easy penetration. I mean, he was getting left by some of his defenders, as you saw in the first goal. So I think the fact that we lost 1-0, at times we should be a little thankful, even though we lost. It sucks, but Guzan kept us in the game. But that's the thing about these tournaments, these World Cups, these Euros. Everyone knows that these are very difficult to win. There's no room for error. Your first game is very important. That's why traditionally when you look at these tournaments, if you have like the first game is between two big countries, two very powerful countries, it usually ends up in a stale draw that's boring because none of them really want to go for it off the jump. It's more of a secure type of style. But we'll see. There's hope. We still have 2 games. Frank de Boer, he's been to 4 international tournaments. I think like 2 World Cups, 2 Euros. He understands this style. He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. The team will figure it out. We've had a lot of key departures. It is what it is. But we still have 2 games left. Guzan played well. We just got to patch up some things. But I think I still have faith.
Yeah. Well, appreciate it, Parham, and hopefully Vamos ATL for our second match. Thanks, man.